if you've got the right lead magnet, the right kind of content that people actually want. I think another thing is a lot of people try to sell people things that nobody wants. The free community is really just a funnel, right? So we want to get people in there, we want to nurture them a little bit, and then we want to send them into some kind of paid offer. Most people just won't take action. So that's one reason that they aren't successful. Anybody can grow a community there as long as you've got a product that people want and offer them.
All right. We have Ron on. Ron, how are you?
Good, man. How are you, Matt?
Good. Ron, you beat me to the punch of trying to get school involved in my business, and you basically browbeat me or made me get into your school group, and I appreciate it. I wanted to get into, put it this way, there are very few people I'm involved in paying their school groups. I think you're the second one that I've actually paid for. And the reason why I was pretty damn impressed.
I appreciate that, man.
And so the listener or watcher who's seeing this should understand that Ron's kind of one of the dudes who, I mean, I've seen your growth because you've been in obviously my friend groups, whether it was Facebook or YouTube or anything like that. I mean, I've seen you for a bazillion years, but I like the fact that you've escalated. I mean, from someone that I know has kind of been like, I think a little under the radar to me. You've always kind of been that guy who, was cool, just like you could relate to them. And now all of a sudden, I think you got a little wind. And let's talk about that. But first, how do you make money?
So you mentioned how I used to do things. So we used to teach Facebook groups. I feel it feels like ages ago now. It's probably almost 3 years ago, maybe a little bit over that. So we used to teach the Facebook group funnel model, where you drive people into the Facebook group and then you nurture them there and then turn them in, get them on phone calls and turn them into clients. So that worked really well for a long period of time. I think I did like 800K in like 2 years. And then that started to decline. I started seeing a lot of the gurus, a lot of the people that we all know, start to move over to a platform called School, which you mentioned. And I was kind of stubborn, stayed on Facebook for too long, and started seeing my money start to go down. And so finally, I had moved all my courses over to School, and School, I just kind of passively grew it there. And I grew it to about 1,000 people. I wasn't doing anything in there. I was just sending people there to go to my free courses and stuff. And then around that same time, when I was about to hit the 1,000 mark, Alex Hermosi made the announcement where, he was making this huge investment. So it took me too long, but then I moved everything over there, went through some growing pains, lost some revenue for a while. And then probably in June, and we built like a similar model on School that we did on Facebook, where we drive people into a free community. We would book calls. We have multiple different mechanisms within that community to book calls. We get them on a call, and then on that call, we either have a high ticket that we can sell people, or if they don't have the money, they want to do it themselves, we downsell them into the paid community. So that's essentially how we make money, and we teach people to make money.
Yeah, no, I understand how you teach people how to make money, but I guess my question is, modeling wise, the sophistication of these programs isn't very difficult. But my question is going to be related to are the free courses now just in the free version as well? How is it laddered?
Yeah, so and what I teach and what we do, and I've got too many courses in mine. I actually wrote about this today. I had a post about this today, but the way that we teach people is you want to keep it in the free community. The free community is really just a funnel, right? So we want to get people in there. We want to nurture them a little bit, and then we want to send them into some kind of paid offer. And so I don't want to put too much course material in there, because then they can just hang out there and learn, even though most people don't even consume the course material. We want it to be a pathway of like driving them in, creating demand for our high ticket product or our paid membership, and then converting them. And so the way that we teach, I've got, like I said, have too many courses because I've been having courses there for a long time, is to have one course, maybe some additional courses for the gamification piece, which you can, people can level up as they engage in the community. So it incentivizes engagement, but having really like a start here course that lays the ground rules of the community, kind of teaches them how to engage and trains them to engage in the community, teaches them about gamification. And then another one that is built, there's two different kind of uh, frameworks that I use with my clients. Is one is like a perfect webinar style training, and then you chop that up into individual like lessons, and that is meant to kind of teach people about the new opportunity, Russell Brunson style perfect webinar with 3 secrets, and then make an offer to either get on a call or they can just purchase right from the course itself. The other way, and the way that we do it, is what I call a transformational masterclass. So, we have a long process that helps people launch their communities, grow their communities, monetize and scale their communities. And so the first piece of that is helping people to launch their community. So our free course is all around helping them accomplish that goal. And so kind of the hook of our free course is helping them launch their new community and get their first 100 members. And so everything inside the free community is kind of geared towards helping them accomplish that goal, including the phone call that we get them on to try to sell them into the high ticket or the paid membership. And so we get people in the community, get them through going through that course, book a call with them, and then send them to either the high ticket, which is more of some done for you elements and done with you consulting coaching for 6 months, or a done do it yourself where they get a high level account and they get like the course material and a couple of group calls, and they're kind of doing it themselves.
Talk to me about the variances there. So let's say I'm just not interested in anything except for having you just fix it for me. Just come in and build my community, and I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. Just do it for me. How does that work for like maybe a more advanced person?
Yeah, we actually we need a higher ticket one. Right now, it's more we'll set the community up for you. We'll set up all the automations and everything with high level, and then once we've got that done, we kind of consult with you for 6 months, and we'll do some done for you elements, but it's not just pure done for you everything. So it's a mix of like getting the setup done, and then some of the elements basically based on different things that you need as we consult with you. And then we need that higher ticket, which is like 20K or something like that, where
Well, whatever the number is. I mean, I
yeah.
was just curious more than anything else, because I think somebody who's listening to this may be saying, you know what? I don't want to do any of this. You do it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the problems we find in our industry
Mm-hmm.
is that it sounds great and I want to have that, but I don't want to do it.
Do the work. Yeah.
Um, what I think is kind of interesting, and maybe you could help me out, is um, I think one of the challenges with school, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the thing that bugs me about school. And again, I could care less what platform it is. Like, to
Sure.
me, it doesn't matter. Whether it's Mighty Networks, it's Go High Levels platform, it's Zenforo, whatever the community infrastructure is.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, everybody was on Facebook. Like everybody was like, okay, go to Facebook group and then sell high ticket from your Facebook group, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you
Yep.
could basically engage with people in there, and then someone puts their hands up, you can say, okay, you can come on to our next group, and then that would be even a separate private Facebook group page, which doesn't cost anything.
Sure.
Okay, so now I have to pay school
Mm-hmm.
$99 a month
Mm-hmm.
to use school's platform, and I understand there's some inherent advantages because you're away from the distraction of Facebook. But now the distraction for me is, the 15 groups that are free that I'm in that are now sending messages, and there's now 1,000. Everything goes to 99 messages in my mailbox every day,
Yeah.
right?
I'll give you some tips on how to turn that off, but yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good. That would be great. But to me, have we just entered a new distraction zone where now we're just entering another framework of sort of like the Facebook groups, which is that, sure, now I'm just distracted because now this thing is part of another realm where I'm involved in. And again, I don't care either way, because if the
Mm-hmm.
model works, the model works, because of, obviously there's a lot of money behind this, and we'll get to that in a minute. But what's your opinion on all of that side of the world?
Well, there's multiple different things. So Facebook's obviously got way more distractions going on because you're not only getting notifications from communities, you're getting notifications from all your friends. You're getting now they've got notifications from they got ads in the notifications. They've got, and then the feed is just whatever the algorithm thinks that you want to see. So with notifications in school and the way it's set up, you can turn off all notifications like to your email on, and you can choose what notifications you get from each individual group. Also, the reason that you're getting all those notifications is that you're following all group owners that you're a member of. So you can unfollow those people and you don't see any of them. So you can pick and choose what you want to see. And so now that I've kind of figured all that out, it's a very curated list of content that I get from people that I only want to see. And and I don't know if most people know how to like unfollow
I
people.
don't think they do.
I kind of figured that out the
Yeah.
other day, but it's now that I know how to do that, it's exactly what I want to see. So I only follow the people that I really want to see with their updates and their content because it's good content. And I would say 90% of my time on school, like when I'm working, because there's just better content there. It's just and as a community owner, it does feel like you're part of a community. Because another cool thing about with school versus like high level now, I don't know about the other ones, but you have the school games where everybody's like competing. If you own a school community, you can compete, but you also, when you pay for that community, you get access to all the recordings of the masterminds that they do each month. And so that's like you're getting a master's course every single month on growing a community, launching, growing, and monetizing a community. So it's just a really cool community, in my opinion. They're the best at that. I mean, I don't think high level will ever compete on that level. Personally, they might, but theirs is kind of a mess right now. I don't know if you played
Right.
around with it.
Again, I'm not platform
Yeah,
wise.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not, I'm not, I was more concerned about the noise that are in the platforms, right?
yeah.
So every single time I go into a platform, whether it's Facebook or so, okay. So now you kind of clarified some of the filtering there. Here's my kind of question mark that I think a lot of people are asking. So now you build a community. But that's actually now more work because now you have people in the community asking questions. You've
Hmm.
got now a bunch of things that you're gonna have to babysit to some degree, or what I would call babysitting, that you're gonna have to manage or have somebody manage responding.
Hmm.
Um, how much work is involved in a community, and where are you at with your two communities?
Yeah, so it's not as much work as you would think. So we have two communities. We have the free and the paid, like I mentioned. And what I do, and I figured out some really cool things that we're going to be teaching in a workshop pretty soon, is that I can just really coach in my paid community. So we have a couple of different coaching calls per week. We record those. And then basically all the cool stuff I'm doing with my paid community, I just go tease it in the free community and create that FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's kind of my content strategy. And what I've actually learned to do is I trained Claude. Claude is the best copywriting AI, in my opinion. And I've got it a couple of things in the knowledge base, kind of, trained it on my process and some of the ways that I like to write. And then what I do is I take the transcript from my coaching calls. On these coaching calls, I kind of go around the room and ask people what they're struggling with, and then I coach them on it and give them some resources. I can take that transcript now and I can plug it into my Claude project, which is the $20 version of Claude, and ask it to give me 5 ideas for different posts, and it will write them for me. And I'm telling you, it's about 90% done. It's so good, the writing. I actually posted one today and got some sales from it. So, and these actually work. I mean, a lot of the content that you're getting from like Claude or ChatGPT is just crap. So that's one way that I've kind of learned to be way more efficient with my time. There is, time as far as like engaging with people, but the way that I take care of that is I have a process where I just filter all the people that have not been commented on yet. And I just go in there, read it, and maybe I'll do like a quick 1 minute Loom video and comment and then ask a question to get them to comment back. And then I'll spend, a couple of hours a day, probably not even a couple hours a day, like an hour a day throughout the day doing that. and responding and to commenting on people's stuff.
So your kind of, let's just say, claim to fame is communities,
Yep.
right?
I mean, that's on purpose. Yeah, I'm just trying to really drive that home and just be the community guy. That's my
But before that, you were doing the Facebook
groups. Yep.
strategy, right?
Hmm.
Facebook group strategy, right?
Hmm.
So it's sort of like you've just graduated community to next community, right?
Right. But this, I will say that this is 10 times better than what we were doing in Facebook groups. Like, I think our best month booking calls in Facebook was like maybe 50 calls. Last in October, we booked 107 calls. And I would say we only booked like 5 of those were actually paid ads. The rest of it was organic. So this funnel crushes anything we were doing ever with Facebook.
Sure, and I understand that. So, but 107 calls to do what? To become part of your paid community?
Well, that's the beauty of it. It depends. Like, we have, if it's somebody that, they've got money, they want to move faster, don't want to do it themselves, then we'll invite them into the high ticket offer. And then if they're not a good fit for that, so everybody's qualified to either buy our high ticket or our low ticket because they're in our community because they want to launch communities. So that's a given. They've gone through our community.
This is like all like you're in a community to launch a community about a community.
Yeah.
To be in the community.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's so trippy to some degree about how deeply squared this is.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole thing. We teach coaches how to coach coaches to coach other coaches. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess, and again, I understand what you're doing, and I think my thought process has always been the same, which is, sounds great. Can't wait to do it, just like anybody else. What are the gotchas? What am I looking at for things that are hard or things that I should be aware of? What's going to kick me in the teeth? I mean, just like anybody else, I've run an agency,
Hmm.
or maybe like anybody else, maybe like a lot of people that are watching this, or maybe are aspiring to launch these. There's on the outside looking in, um, it seems like, well, how hard could it be to get people to sign up for school? It seems like it's easy. It's not much a transaction process. This seems to be fairly simple. The interface is easy. Um, on the inside looking out, I'm sure you have some thoughts about this, because I could say the same thing about agency business. It's like, oh, well, wait till you have your first customer, right?
Right. 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 So, I mean, the biggest thing to me, I mean, in just working with other people is, well, first of all, most people won't do shit. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss on this, but most people just won't take action. So
Right.
that's one reason that they aren't successful. But the biggest thing is, I don't think it's hard to grow a community. I mean, if you've got the right lead magnet, the right kind of content that people actually want. I think another thing is a lot of people try to sell people things that nobody wants, and that's just not going to work in general. So having something that people actually want and there's a desire to solve a problem. So if you have that, it's fairly easy. The biggest thing to me is probably audience, like traffic. So I mean, if you're if you're trying to get traffic from scratch, that's going to take time if you're doing organic. So the other option is ads, which ads can work really, really well. We're running ads now and getting really good results from it. And if you have that lead magnet that we talked about earlier, it's really not that hard. So if you have money to drive people into the community, you've got a good lead magnet, or if you have an audience or you can create content, you're not worried about that. That piece is taken care of. The way that we structure the community when new members come in, we started tracking this. We've created like tracking links, and we've got, I don't know, like 8 different methods that people can book from, and all of them are working together to book calls. So that system works really well, the free to paid model, and then getting them on the call and then having a good offer, either a good high ticket offer, a good paid community offer, or both. I like have both because, building that monthly recurring revenue is nice, you know.
100%. So let me ask you a question. Success wise, who have you seen besides yourself being successful in this? And maybe tie it to an agency or something that's relatable to maybe the people who listen to this podcast who could say, hey, I'm an expert in X and this. I mean, that's my big question for me, because I'm thinking about this too, right? I've started and closed a school community because I wasn't ready for even to do it yet. Meaning, I started and I said, holy crap, I have way many things to do before I start this community.
Right.
Closed it down, sat on it, and now I'm ready to reopen. And now I'm thinking like, okay, so what's the avatar that's hungry and that you've seen that's been active?
Well, I mean, if you look in the discovery and you see some of the types of communities that have won the school games, it's all over the place. It really is. There's people that are dating coaches. There's people that are business credit people. I think that guy almost won the school games when they were doing the Cybertruck. There's a lot of people that are in the business and marketing realm. You've seen what Rob Bailey's been able to do around his,
Amazing. Yeah.
and he's not talk about an automated system. He did like he's probably talked to you about it, but he's got a nice little setup. Yeah, I mean, it's really all over the board. If you look and just it's funny because I was really interested to see because I had a theory that it was just all marketing people and like we all probably think it's either marketing and sales because Alex Hermosi, but it's really across the board. There's video game people. I mean, it's all over the place. So I think that like I said, pretty much anybody can grow a community there as long as you've got a product that people want and offer that
Who
people.
are you attracting into your community? Do you find any particular genre of like individuals that are, I mean, obvious, I would think, agencies and stuff like that, but I don't know. You might have some other idea that would make sense.
And I am so sorry. Somebody booked a 3:30 call with me. Is this? Can we jump back on or something and splice it together?
Yeah, that's fine. I
Sorry
have to
about
put
that,
it on
man.
pause. So I'll put it on pause. When can we catch up?
This is just probably like a 30-minute call, and I'll.
All right, I'll just stop this one and then we can get back on at some other point,
Okay.
and finish this up.